Peace, this is Star with the Star Bloom. So I wanted to share a quick message. However, it's not coming out the way that I wanted it to. So I'm just going to do it like off the top of my head. I had, it's this understanding of basically the inevitable and how once you've gotten to a rate of being able to perceive the all and to be able to be recognized by the all because you've been in perception of it, there's a different chemistry that basically flows within you regardless of whatever your previous DNA or chromosome spoke to. And this isn't, I don't want to say chromosome because that speaks to like the rate of like sex of the body. However, I'm speaking about the chemistry of the blood and how there's this representation of being illuminated right now in a future, past, present moment, which is basically all occurring right now. And there's this energy of recognizing the inner child and allowing yourself to be at this healing rate with the wounds and I'm hearing like mechanisms, like coping mechanisms and certain rates of pattern recognition or continuing patterns or learned behaviors rather. Thank you, Spirit. And then there's this rate of recognizing how your stability comes in your flow because you allow yourself to be at this rate of trust due to the fact that you have this connection. And then I process the rate of twin flame and the soulmate, a strong soulmate connection, which with the soulmate connection, excuse me, y'all, okay? With the soulmate connection, it was more so a recognition of, your yin and your yang energy coming to be in representation of each other. Y'all, my eyes is closed and I see literally 4 panels, which is representing the axes, like I said the other day, that have come together and that have met each other. And it's almost like I'm hearing met each other in a trine. And I know that has to deal with astrology. I wish I was up on my astrology, but I've been lacking in like maintaining this space, but I'm going to speak to the rate of it. Spirit is basically here with you at this point of illumination that's allowing you to purge within the inner child and cleanse and purify at certain rates of recognizing how your stability comes in the flow of you making the connection or at least honoring the tethered thread through the twin flame, which I believe sometimes could be you and you. It does not always have to be you and a counterpart or another person, or it could be you and many energies that you've met over time, which you embody all at the same time. It's going to sound crazy to some people. Not my business, not my circus. This is all for entertainment purposes. Okay. I'm getting this information out because I know somebody needs it. Whoever this energy is, I may be talking to a divine feminine energy who's basically previously came into contact with 2 energies. And the third would be represented by the Most High. So the first energy would basically show up with this kind of like Knight of Pentacles energy. Very, very one step at a time, kind of determined, very calculating, very well thought through. But over time, it kind of comes off a little bit as procrastination, depending on how the energy is. However, it's a King of Cups. So this would be represented with the Leo, Pisces, Scorpio energy. Any of these could be your North Node, South Node, your Sun, Moon, Rising, or your Venus. Now, this energy basically has come into, I was about to say a wall, but it's not a wall. It's an egress. It's a release because I see the World card with it. Now, with the World card, it basically represents, I feel like, a rate of success because there's been a completion. And I believe that this is on the divine feminine's half because she learned a lesson when it came to connecting with this energy. And she decided to basically retrieve her lesson and egress while this person was taking their time. So if there's a circumstance to where this energy is coming back around, it's going to come back around while the contract has already been, I was about to say depleted, but it's completed is what I was going to say. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Okay. The second energy, which would have been the first energy, but the second energy, it came in second because I feel like the energy that dude is very sneaky. His energy was the Eight of Pentacles, but on the fence. So doesn't really want her working hard, doesn't want her meeting her goals, doesn't want her to be at this rate of being an apprenticeship towards the things that are actually going to bring her fulfillment, for her to be able to retrieve her harvest for the work that she's put in, and hard work at that. But it's an Emperor energy, which is going to be basically representing all four kings. However, mostly is what I'm feeling is fire energy with this. So this could also be, thank you, Spirit. They're saying Aries or Taurus energy with this energy, but it's going to basically show up in a connection with either a partner that was supposed to be a divine counterpart, and this guy chose a certain way, this energy chose, this entity chose this energy, and they basically, dude went into contract with somebody else to basically come into contract against the person that he was supposed to be with. And because of that, there's this rate of the Hierophant basically showing up backwards, wanting her to kind of conform to certain rates of tradition and all of these things. And then on the third axis, which is what I thought was so powerful, it's literally the cup of the Ace of Cups, the Seven of Swords, and then the Ace of Cups, the Seven of Swords, and then how did it show it? Show it to me again. Nine of Wands. What I felt like was so powerful with this part was on each axis lived a different path that could basically be met. And this is what was coming into illumination. The awareness that you get to meet each one of these axes, depending on where you at, how you feel about it, right? And even though it seemed like the most complicated, the one where the Most High is giving this cup of love to you is basically the one that is and it's like, I want to, once again, this is for entertainment purposes only. But the access to choose, the pathway to choose was the one where the Most High. You're going to come into some conflict a little bit because you have to be strategic with your environment because there's still people around you who are deceitful. You're going to have to be at this rate of resilience, but the hand that you're being given is so potent and so pure that before it reaches you, your cup starts to overflow. And it's that part of it is a part where love gets to be represented within your authenticity, and love doesn't have to be tampered with against you. And I believe that that's something that we as the feminine energy for eons, for millennia, haven't been able to really, really fully sit in because of how the enemy, I was going to say so-called enemy, is basically using this against us to basically weaponize how we show up in connections and within our discernment. And I believe that the Most High is giving you like a olive branch at this point for you to be able to choose self, but choosing self is choosing love, and choosing love is basically choosing your better half, which is the healed version of you that is in alignment with the rate of you that hadn't fully perceived, but you're willing to take that part of you and purge it and purify it and surrender while continuing to be resilient and move forward in self-discovery. At this point, I feel like that's what we have the opportunity to do. I hope this message finds whoever it needs to find, but be an illumination of whatever spirit is coming in to pour into you right now, because there's divine messages here and they aren't trinkets for you to basically place off to the side. They're divine I don't know why. It's like it's codes. Codes are being amplified within you, and your chemistry